Hello, welcome to Compelling. I'm Katy Wellesley Wesley. With 18 years of experience in the art world, ranging from blue-chip galleries to startups, I'm now a Paris-based consultant to brands, foundations, artists, and collectors. Thank you for listening to Compelling, a podcast exploring the dynamic intersection of art, culture, and luxury. I'll be interviewing visionary artists, cultural leaders, and brand innovators to uncover how storytelling, mastery of craft, and creative collaboration come together to build community, engage audiences, and shape lasting legacies. Today we're journeying to Tuscany to explore a place where art, nature, and hospitality have become carefully intertwined to create something truly special. My guest is the visionary founder of this unique heaven, Lena Evstafieva. Lena's past wasn't originally in hospitality, but in contemporary art. She was an art world darling, starting in the museum world and moving to become a director of Pace Gallery in London, which is where we met in 2010. Leveraging her network and creative background, Lena founded Villa Lena's hotel and foundation on the sensationally beautiful old Tuscan estate in 2013. The idea? To create something truly different, not just a hotel, but a living, breathing creative retreat and a sanctuary for artistic and cultural exchange, bringing diverse creative fields together. Villa Lena is now home to a multidisciplinary artist residency woven into a hotel, fostering collaboration and interaction between artists, guests, and the place itself. Set amidst stunning Tuscan hills and olive groves and woodlands, you're invited to slow down, reconnect, and find inspiration in nature, creativity, and community. Join us as Lena shares the inspiration behind the project, the lessons she's learned as an entrepreneur in the wild, and discusses the exciting and challenging decisions that lie ahead as the business continues to grow and develop. Hello, Lena.
Hi.
And welcome to Compelling. Thank you for being my first guest as I enter into the podcast arena. We've known each other for close to 20 years. So
betraying our age.
Betraying our
I
age.
like that joke.
It's a pleasure to have somebody, a friendly face, opposite me as I embark. We're here to discuss today your business, Villa Lena, a beautiful Tuscan estate between Florence and Pisa that you founded in 2013. And it was always, really from the beginning, an artist residency on the same site as a hotel. And that, that's quite common these days. But then it was a unique proposition. And so I'd like to hear about the inspiration behind it, how you launched it, and how did it then grow organically?
Sure. My family had the estate, which is 500 hectares. It's a large piece of land. And it had, it has this incredible combination of a beautiful orange villa and, buildings that have been built in the 17th century to buildings that have been built in the 1970s. They had it and it was falling into disrepair. They didn't have anybody on the ground there to really look after it. And it just so happened that both me and my husband, Jerome, were at crossroads. He has spent considerable amount of time in the music industry. I've spent considerable time in the contemporary art world, and it just felt like we wanted to do something different. So we suggested to get involved, and it sort of took over our lives. We moved from London to Florence. My kids now speak Italian. It's a life trajectory that we wouldn't have imagined ever to have taken. No, but we don't regret it. Florence is great. When we started this project, we wanted to achieve a couple of aims, right? So we wanted to create a functioning business, but how do you stand out in a landscape of incredible hospitality products that is Italy? And the second one was we never really wanted to lose our connection to the creative industries. So our idea was to combine a product that is hospitality together with an artist residency. Mm-hmm. From the beginning, the hotel and the artist residency existed together. And over the years, we really kind of fine-tuned how the two interact, support, feed off each other, and create this very natural organism that really works to each other's benefit. And you were there at some point, and you helped me to create all of these ideas and systems in place that really made this a reality. Because one thing, you have an idea, and the other thing is actually to execute it. And the execution requires 10,000 decisions that you would have never thought until you're actually in the middle of it.
Yeah.
And you see all these things like happening. It's like, oh, I wish I could have thought about this when I started.
Well, there's the dream. And then, as you say, there's the minutiae of execution.
Yes.
This season of Compelling is presented in partnership with Cahiers d'Art, the legendary Paris publisher founded in 1926 at the crossroads of modern and contemporary art. For nearly a century, Cahiers d'Art has collaborated with icons like Picasso, Duchamp, and Calder, and continues today with leading voices such as Ellsworth Kelly, Philip Perino, Arthur Jaffa, and Rosemary Trockel. Cahiers d'Art is also the home of the legendary Picasso catalogue raisonné, known as the Zervos. This definitive 33-volume record of Picasso's work is one of the most important art publications of the 20th century. At the heart of its programme is La Revue, a landmark publication dedicated to artists shaping the past, present, and future of art. And beyond publishing, Cahiers d'Art is also a gallery on Rue de Dragon in Paris, a space where art, culture, and ideas continue to meet. Discover more at cahierdart.com or experience it yourself in Saint-Germain-des-Prés. As you said, and so for listeners, I'll expand a little bit. I was the director of the foundation in 2016. So having begun on a kind of ad hoc invitation, friends and network that you and Jerome were plugged into directly, there was the ambition then to kind of open out the artist residency and attract multidisciplinary artists from all across the world. So that needed to be formalized. There needed to be a proper system. There needed to be a way of interviewing people and then communicating with them and making sure that...
Communicating with them,
exactly.
It's full of pitfalls.
So, but throughout all of that, as time passed, you wanted the hotel and the foundation not to just exist independently of one another on the same site, but to have points of connection.
Exactly.
And that is, again, it's an easy thing to dream of, and it's another thing altogether to actually schedule. You can't rely on accidental encounter between guests of the hotel and the artistic community that are there on the same estate. So that has to be kind of brought together, and it's something that you've really refined now over more than a decade of doing it.
Well, exactly. It's just bringing actually the polar opposites together, because the hospitality industry is highly regimented. You have standard operating procedures for every single thing that you do.
Yeah.
Whilst the creative industry, on the other hand, is the opposite of being regimented, right? It's a creative idea doesn't come on schedule.
No.
It's going to come when it's going to come.
If it comes.
If it comes. We've created different formats of interaction. One of them, for example, is a creative workshop. We have different artists who come and they stay for 4 weeks, and they provide a number of creative workshops per week. These are really magical moments, because I wanted to create a place at Villa Lena with this residency program that you become part of the process. You can create together with the artist. The artist can share their ideas. Even if it's like brief 1 hour, it's still so much more magical to me than, for example, going to gallery for 10 minutes, looking around and then leaving.
Yes.
And I think that was one of the motivations behind merging the hospitality and artist residency together as a place where people can actually experience magic of creativity in a very informal, entertaining, it doesn't have to be highbrow space.
Yeah. I mean, we're talking now about the benefit, if you like, to a guest of the hotel of having the opportunity to cross over with the artist. The real success, I think, is that there's a two-way flow of advantage here. So by offering a residency, you're exposing that artistic community to one another, but also to the guests of the hotel who, by definition, are coming to Villa Lena because they want to be more involved in the arts, because they are interested, and ultimately because they have some purchasing power.
Exactly. I'm exposing these artists, these residents, to their perfect audience. These workshops are intense.
Yeah.
But they're also giving. With this residency, the important thing to say is that it's not like one artist in residency. It's 4, 5, 6 at every given intake. So they also have a group. This is a residency where you can interact with people, and the feedback that I'm getting from the artists also is that if they work in isolation, it is completely underestimated how much of their production is solitary, and actually producing work and creating, writing or music within a context of other creative people, or, hotel guests who are really interested in what they're doing, is not only, creative feedback, it is reaffirming and revalidating the importance of what they're doing.
Yeah. No, as you say, the artistic road is a demanding, lonely one for many. And so actually having that community, as well as obviously just being transplanted to an extraordinarily beautiful place.
Well, that helps too.
That helps too. That helps too. So I mean, one of the core themes that I'm exploring with Compelling is the idea of collaboration and community building, and how that benefits businesses and, existing heritage businesses. But in your case, at Villa Lena, we're talking about a young brand. So maybe you can talk about how the community that you built around yourself at the beginning sort of helped to accelerate that journey and help you grow.
Absolutely. Community was everything to our growth. Not that we had a huge marketing budget. We actually had zero marketing budget. But the word of mouth of people who came to Villa Lena, whether it was artists in residency, whether it were guests, was really, really powerful, and it started to spread. I think that creative people working in culture, they are the pollinators. So
I like that. That's a great way of putting it. The pollinators. Yeah.
So once they
without them, nobody blooms.
Exactly. I like that. Exactly. They are the pollinators that spread pollen around, and that's how the brand of Villa Lena sort of gained its exposure.
Yeah.
And building community was something that, we were fortunate because we came with a network of people, lots of artists, writers, musicians that we could just invite to kickstart the project. And, my husband, Jerome, was instrumental in this. Also, our previous collaborators, Leonard Ben-Simoun and Andres Araiva, they were really, really great in spreading the word, getting the right artists in.
So again, for listeners, Lionel's background is in... Well, you're probably going to describe it better than I am.
Restaurants,
nightclubs, and he knows how to really create a vibe. I mean,
yes,
it's
magic.
He's a magic vibe creator.
He really is. It's a talent. It's a unique talent.
It is a talent. And then Andre, of course, is an artist who designed the logo for Villa Lena.
Exactly.
But he's not a brand design logo guy.
No.
And so from the get-go, you had an artist designing your branding.
Yes.
Which really sets the tone for the direction that you've moved in throughout the business.
Exactly. Because typically when you open a business, you need a logo, you need a brand direction, and you go to a marketing agency that will create that for you. Whilst we just didn't do that, we just asked our friends who are artists to help us to create the identity, and kept refining it and kept growing with them. Mm-hmm. It's not, Andre made the logo, which is an incredible logo, but then we also kept coming back to residents, asking them to, maybe you can design the olive oil bottle, or you can make drawings for the Villa Lena map. So every single thing, every single touch point is not designed by a marketing agency. It grew organically from all our artistic interactions, that from people who know the place really well, who understand it. You know, with the brand, you can write your brand values.
Yeah.
You can create a brand book. But I think what was really magical at Villa Lena is that everybody got to experience it. Everybody got to feel it. So when we ask to people to collaborate on something, it's not just they mentally think about it, they also feel it and instinctively create something that is on brand.
As you say, you started out fully embracing the fact that it was going to be an iterative process, and it has been.
Yeah.
But the common thread has been, well, aside from the proximity to artists, it's also the proximity to nature.
Yes.
And that was something that took a bit of time to get moving as well. I mean, when I was there in 2016, you were just then planting your first vegetable gardens. There was a very unreliable crop of tomatoes.
Yes.
So it was, you know, and now, you know, Villa Lena is producing its own flowers. It's producing it. I mean, you tell me, what percentage of what's coming out of the kitchen is produced in your vegetable?
All the vegetables, you know,
all of it.
All the vegetables that are coming to your plate is from our garden.
Yeah.
You know, obviously we have to adapt with seasonality.
Of course. It's part of the magic there.
It's yeah, of course. It's the best. It's the best taste.
Yeah. For example, because I remember it, you know, this was the dream, farm to table restaurant.
Yes.
And I remember there being a criticism, oh, you know, not all of it's coming. It's nonsense, you know, it's not a farm to table restaurant. You've got to start somewhere. It's now 10 years on and you are actually at 100% of fruit and veg coming out of the garden. So that's
but also the criticism that it has to be 100% farm to table. It's kind of an impossible dream because sometimes it rains, sometimes it doesn't, and unless you opt to use fertilizers and industrial way of growing vegetables, you can't guarantee the crop. I don't know the English word for this animal, tasso, which sort of, you know, eats all the carrots.
Is it a large animal? Or are we talking
no, it's like
a pest?
It's a pest. It's
like a slug?
It's not a slug. It's a furry animal.
Okay.
It's furry animal that is kind of a rat / squirrel kind of thing.
A ratty squirrel.
A ratty squirrel.
Okay.
Yes.
What's it called?
Tasso.
Tasso.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they can dig under.
Right.
So tasso problem has not been fixed.
No. An interesting lesson that you might be able to teach us is how you now choose collaborators based on your years of experience. Do you think you have a higher hit rate now of getting it right and having a, whether it's selecting the artist for the residency or bringing people in to work on wellness retreats, and hiring people, of course. I mean, your team is so important. So all of these things, whether it's hiring decisions or collaborator decisions, what have you learned over the more than decade you've been doing it?
I think after a decade of hiring people or selecting artists for the residency, you develop an eye. You see the red flags much faster than you would.
Give me an example. What's a red flag?
So, for example, on the CV, it's a red flag if a person is young and they've already changed jobs 5-7 times. Another red flag with the artist residency, for example, and this is something that we also work together to fix it, is sometimes the motivation is to get a free Tuscan holiday.
Yeah.
So for that reason, I think we worked on getting the application much stricter. Things like asking a reference letter or submitting a project. Not necessarily that we will judge the application on these factors, but the mere fact that they went and got a reference letter is as a statement of intent, that they intend to come and work and take this opportunity to be proactive rather than hang out by the pool and drink Aperol Spritz, which we've experienced.
Yeah. Well, there's a time for drinking Aperol Spritz by the pool as well. It's not like it's
it's forbidden.
Nose to the grindstone, get back to the studio. I mean, it's not, you're not running a labor camp.
No.
But I take your point. At the same time, actually, people are given these great studio spaces, and the objective is that they can come and actually carve out the time to make new work. And something in the system would be failing if there's no work to show for
exactly.
it. We're now post-pandemic, and the hotel business is thriving. I mean, you've got more bookings now than you had at any point.
Yes.
You're also hosting events. I mean, how many weddings have you got this year?
A lot.
How many is a lot? Is a lot 7 or is a lot 15?
It's close to 20.
Oh, wow.
Yes, close to 20.
Goodness.
And the weddings that we do are multi-day affairs.
Yes, of course.
So
the success of the hotel, how much of that do you actually put down to the artistic community and this idea of collaboration? Do you credit the foundation with having been instrumental, or you think it's been a nice to have alongside?
I think it's instrumental. I think the fact that we've had artists contributing to the Villa Lena site over 10 years is something that is readable by clients immediately. All the branding decisions that we've done together with other ex-residents, it just creates such a rich tapestry of incredible creativity, of incredible look, that it just puts us apart. People who come to Tuscany, they do want to have a Tuscan experience. Villa Lena is something that is both very Tuscan and very fresh, contemporary, and creative.
And to create a story.
Yes.
You've got, as you've said, many of the buildings were 17th century. So there is a gravitas to the place. You can feel the sense of, many people have passed through.
Yeah.
The very fact that you have had this artistic community through, and that you have built up little by little as well. I mean, it wasn't a kind of monster corporation who came in order to kind of renovate everything and bring it all up to speed. No. I mean, when I was there in 2016, there was still some corners of the estate that were very unloved.
There still are.
But actually, it's charming, and of course, the villa itself will be one of the last buildings that you actually will renovate.
Yes.
And you and I talk about this all the time, but I'm slightly sort of trepidatious on your behalf about the day that happens, because right at the heart of Villa Lena is the villa itself. And the villa is really kind of beautiful, terracotta coloured, old palazzo, very, very quirky, frescoes on the ceiling, enormous ceiling height, big windows, big doors. But it's very idiosyncratic, and it is
complicated. With any historic renovation, you've got to tread carefully, and you want to keep the soul of the building. So I think radical is not going to be the word I will be looking for when I will be renovating the villa. No. I would want to keep its charm, the charm of the aristocratic summer house.
Yes.
Never perfect.
Yeah. But the day that it happens, and the investment, the capital investment that will require, it shifts you into a place where
I have to get it back.
You're gonna have to recover the investment. Yeah. And so then the natural thing is, that you renovate to a standard where you can charge more for those rooms. Those more expensive rooms will bring in perhaps a slightly different type of guest.
Yeah.
A type of guest who wants, I don't know, more facilities, who wants room service, who wants et cetera, which obviously that's a kind of trade up opportunity where you can bolt on more services and expand the business. But it may change the nature and the character of the place. So what are your latest musings on that?
Well, that's a good question. It is a complicated one. I personally think that change is natural. So Villa Lena needs to change. If there's an opportunity to grow, we should take it. but it's also a distinction between a family business and a corporation. A corporation is driven mainly to increase benefits for its stakeholders, driven by profits. The family business can be driven by a lot of other motivations. The hotel rates in the past few years have gone crazy. They've gone through the roof. The hospitality industry is actually really, really growing. When we've started Villa Lena, one of the questions I think you wanted to ask me is like, what was the advice you were given? And I was like, okay, what kind of advice did I receive that was really, really helpful? And I realized I didn't get a single advice that was helpful. The main advice was like, just don't do it.
Really?
Yes.
I mean, God, that's so negative, isn't it?
I know. It's like,
just don't do it.
Just don't do it. It's an impossible task. You will never get people to come in the middle of Tuscany to an agriturismo that nobody heard of unless you have like huge budget. I think part of the reason why it also worked, despite, the Villa Lena having such strong community and word of mouth and an interesting concept, is that the hospitality industry has grown.
Okay. You would be the first to admit that you've ridden a crest of a wave, so to speak, that you've been fortunate. I mean,
I was in the right place at the right time.
No, but that's so much of everything.
Yeah.
And people who actually are deluded enough to think that it was all just their own brilliance that sort of got them to a place are just that, really deluded, I think.
In 2006, the global travel industry, hospitality industry, was $3.5 trillion. In 2016, it was 4.5. It is projected to grow by 2029 to 7.5, almost doubling.
That's so isn't it?
That just tells you so many things that, yes, people want experiences. People want to travel. People have the resource to go and stay in different hotels, right? You see this huge influx of hotel building everywhere. This is the reason.
A little more about our partner. In 2026, Cahiers d'Art celebrates its centennial, 100 years at the heart of modernism. To mark the occasion, Cahiers d'Art will stage a global program, exhibitions at the Musée Picasso in Paris, at the MoMA in New York, and the Guggenheim Collection in Venice, among others. Alongside these, a landmark centennial book and new editions of the historic Revue will honour a century of creativity while opening a new chapter for the future. Discover more at cahierdart.com. That's something you see across the luxury industry as well. I mean, now all of the big luxury groups, LVMH have moved into hospitality, with tremendous confidence, Cheval Blanc, and they bought Belmond. And you see now the investment, not just in great facilities and high thread counts, but actually in sort of experience that goes beyond just comfort, that is actually, and goes beyond place as well. That there's culinary experiences and there's artistic experiences and
there's heritage experiences,
whiskey experience. I mean, everything you can dream of. And actually, especially for a younger generation, those memories that people are able to build and the opportunity to talk, but not only to talk, but actually to post on social media and illustrate that they have gone and had these experiences and been to those places, that has shifted the landscape completely. If an aspirational younger generation were once thinking it was important to have, a Gucci handbag, a Chanel handbag, maybe now it's more important to them to say, I've been to Naoshima Island in Japan and stayed in the Tadao Ando designed hotel and stood next to the Yayoi Kusama pumpkin.
Yes.
And, that becomes a sort of new status. And I'm giving an art example, but this exists now across hospitality, doesn't it? I think
yes, it's like
it's
a badge, right?
It's a badge. It's a badge of not honor. It's a
badge of status.
It's a badge of status. Yeah. that's a change.
Definitely. I think maybe an older generation was more interested in actually buying physical things. And, younger generation, us included, we're so young.
Yeah.
we want to experience life, right? We want to live it.
Yes.
We want to have exciting time. We
Yeah.
want to learn something new.
Well, because we're entitled. Isn't that what our parents think?
Well, it's their fault they brought us up.
Because we're entitled to the good times.
Yes.
You alluded to the questions that I had said I wanted to ask you. So there was no good advice you were given.
No good advice.
But okay. So now with the benefit of experience behind you, what advice do you wish you'd been given?
Well, the advice is find your team. The reason why I stumbled with Villa Lena for so long, because it was really hard to find my team. And granted, I've started it when I was 31. What did I know about anything? Finding team, finding the right people, finding the people who will click with you, who will understand you, with whom the collaboration is going to be easy. I mean, no working relationship is ever easy. There's going to be tensions, there are going to be misunderstandings, but you want to find the people who can, see past that and work with you towards a common goal and then understand what the common goal is. And it was really hard to find the right team also because Villa Lena is a place where there's nothing around us, 2 villages with 3,000 inhabitants each. That's your labor pool.
Knowing that now, how do you make sure that you can attract the talent that you need?
So from the outset, I should have invested in facilities for the team to live in, for them to be able to move around. Just these practical things that would make their life easier would have made my offer more competitive, and I could have gotten better people quicker. So the investment into your team, your labor force, you can never underestimate that because that's what's going to pay back.
And engender loyalty over time, I suppose, as well. So you don't have the turnover because
turnover is so hard, because you need time to train the person in any job. It takes time.
Yes.
At Villa Lena, it's particularly complicated because it's so big. And the story is complicated, and there's so many things to learn. A really important thing that I still teach myself, because I keep forgetting about it, is that sometimes when you ask to make a decision and it's not clear to you, just don't make it. So step away, think about it. Maybe you need 24 hours, maybe you need a week. Just give yourself that time.
Yeah. Don't be on other people's timetable.
Exactly.
I know exactly who you learned that lesson from.
Yes.
I know exactly. So shout out to Molly Dent Brocklehurst.
Exactly. My biggest influence in life.
Who is the expert at this decision will be made when it's made.
Exactly.
And actually to great effect, because sometimes things just kind of filter by themselves, and the right sort of path
emerges. It is true. It is true. But it's very hard not to make a decision when you are so tempted just to make it and check it off and not to think about it. But then most times it does come back, and I was like, oh, I have this problem because I made that decision then and it was a wrong one.
So there is another lesson which I think perhaps comes to some extent with experience and, dare I say, age, that being comfortable with discomfort. Because as you say, certainly
it's completely discomforting.
under 30 me was just I just want to stop thinking about that and move on. And exactly as you've just described. And I think that actually having some comfort with just a little bit of chaos actually serves one quite well over time.
It really does.
And also having a desire just to kind of keep an open mind and keep learning. I've always been very impressed by your ability to absorb new information and undertake online courses, for example, in
Yeah.
things that you didn't feel confident, but you needed to understand better for your
Absolutely.
business. And you have done that. I mean,
Yeah.
sort of
Had to
numerous
learn-
things that pop up on your LinkedIn where you're just like, she's just done another Cornell University.
on revenue management.
Yeah, on revenue management. But that's
Because before that, I was like, what is that? What is revenue management? Everybody is saying that word.
Yeah, and just I remember when you told me with such excitement also about sort of dynamic pricing
Yes.
within the hotel world.
It was
And
like
of course, I mean, this
a
is
new
this
chapter
is,
for me.
This is the engine of booking websites and certainly of large hotel groups and their sort of reservation
Of course,
systems.
yeah.
But if it's your business and
And
you're
it's just a
setting the
small
prices,
one,
you
yeah.
know, the kind of the old style way was, there's a peak price and there's an off-peak price and but dynamic pricing changes everything. As you've built a brand now, there is the possibility of applying that brand to things outside of hospitality and running an artist residency. And there's been a little bit, you've dabbled there because you've produced art editions, for example, but it isn't your kind of core business.
No.
And you and I have talked before about the possibility of collaborating outside of your core competency, which is now really, for the money making, it's hospitality. And I wonder, what do you think about that? Do you ever think it's time to open a second Villa Lena, or it's time to apply the brand to something else?
I think that's, all of that is very tempting to think about. I'm at this stage right now that maybe I just want to take some time to really think this through. But I think these 10 years with Villa Lena has been such a wild ride for me. And it was complicated making a business in an industry that I had zero experience of, in a country where I never lived. I hardly speak their language. I mean, I speak it better now, but not when I started. I want to take the time to think of what's going to make sense. And again, I think this is a habit that I've been teaching myself, is just not to rush into things.
Yeah.
And maybe when you don't rush into things, when you think through it, you are more in control of the process. Because with Villa Lena, I always found myself on the back foot most of the time and reacting to things, trying desperately to take control of the wild business that was kind of inherited by me.
Yes. No, I mean, I think that's very. That's a very mature kind of response, really, that you need to be mindful of what you do next, rather than just kind of grabbing
things, yeah.
and being seduced by an idea that could be sexy.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Now I know how complicated it is to build a business.
Yeah.
And it's never straightforward. It's never as quick as you think. It's never going to cost you what you've done on a business plan. It's going to cost you way more.
Yeah.
And if I am going to do something further, I want to be sure that I build in all of these concessions.
Yeah. I mean, as much as experience has taught you to be prudent,
yeah,
you also need a good dose of optimism in order to expand or to start anything.
For sure. You have to have hope. I mean, without hope, you're just not going to touch anything.
No. So, yeah, I mean, but it's interesting. And so aside from the habit of slowing down, is there anything else that you do daily or monthly or in life that actually helps you to do that, and helps you in other ways to keep all of the plates spinning?
Yeah, it's I have to say that friends, like having friends and spending time with friends, having the support of my friends over the past 10 years have been so crucial. It's just, I've done jogging and I've done tennis and I've done yoga and I tried to meditate and I went on, health retreats. I've done all of that. The only thing that really, really sustains me are friends, because that's the emotional connection that is so important to me. And
I agree with you, actually. There's the conversation always about introvert, extrovert, and the extrovert gains energy from being with people, and the introvert, it costs them energy. And I always genuinely, and not many people would imagine this, but I genuinely wonder sometimes, which am I? Because I do find actually sometimes I need peace and quiet and just sort of alone time to replenish my energy. But if I didn't have friends, if I didn't have social contact like you, I think I would be very lost. I mean, I really rely on the counsel of friends and on those interpersonal connections, because otherwise, what's it all for?
I know. I personally think I'm an introvert.
I think you're an introvert too. I'd agree with you.
Yes,
but you're an introvert who knows how to command a room, which is a hell of a skill.
Well, thank you. But I think, just to say that, introvert, extrovert is not that black and white distinction either. You can be an introvert and you can have a lot of friends, but these are meaningful interactions that you just keep close.
Yes.
And that's what's been feeding me.
All right. I think this has been a really interesting conversation, but I think we're just about ready to wrap it up.
Have lunch.
So thank you very much, Lena, for being my first guest. We'll see how it comes out after the edit.
Yes. Let's see how you chop up my words.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to Compelling, a podcast exploring the dynamic intersection of art, culture, and luxury. You can find out more or get in touch at thecompellingpodcast.com.